Welcome back. During Easter, many South Africans are on the road for trips to various holiday destinations across the country. Travelers must prioritize safety and preparedness, especially considering the rising incidence of crime along travel routes. Now, for more on this conversation, I'm joined by Mokebe Thulo, who is the head of brand for aware.org. Mokebe, thank you so much for joining us this evening on News at Prime. It is an Easter weekend, another long weekend, and sadly we know that what that means, it comes with fatalities quite often. Tell us about your organization and why it was created.
Good evening, Massa. Thank you so much for this platform, and good evening to your viewers. Yes, you're very right. Unfortunately, we have come to one of those times of the year where fatalities on the roads increase. Terribly unfortunate reality in this country, one that we aim to fight throughout the year, that is. Our organization is aware.org, and what our mandate is to create awareness and education around harm reduction related to alcohol consumption. And we do this under three of our main pillars, which is no to underage drinking, which is road safety, don't drink and drive, and which is sober pregnancies. And of course, at this time of the year, the one that we do focus on is road safety.
Now, talk to us about some of your campaigns. I know you've got one called Make a Better Choice. When you speak about, don't drink and drive, sober pregnancy, sometimes Mokebe, these seems like no-brainers, like non-brainers, that it should go without saying. But unfortunately, it just seems that that's why organizations like yourselves are so needed. The message is just not landing.
Yeah, and I mean, the challenge, I guess, is that we keep having the same conversations every year. And this is where we come in, and this is where we try to bring in different methods of thinking and different innovations to fight this problem. So when we go out and we say to consumers in general and to the public, make a better choice, we're talking to the humanness in all of us. Because we know that all of these problems that we speak of, especially to fatalities on the road, are a problem that affect all of us. And that's why we take a whole of society approach to the matter. The reality is that at Easter time, there's people traveling home, there's people going on holiday, and that is why the fatality rate increases. Although it is a problem, the drinking and driving throughout the year, as I said, something that we do work on. But when we say make a better choice, we are appealing to you to understand that it is within your realm to make a better choice, because what we are telling you is that if you drink and drive, you are likely to get caught, and your life can change ever so instantly, and none of us want that.
And of course, not only are you likely to get caught, but you are posing a risk not only to yourself, but other motorists. Now, what are some of the responses that people are telling you when you're trying to encourage them to make a better choice?
I think that when we speak to people, and I think you've probably had conversations with your peers as well, or people within your sphere of life, is that a lot of people don't think it will necessarily happen to them. And that's one thing. The other thing, and so the concept of, oh no, I'm only having a couple of drinks and therefore nothing will happen to me, is very problematic, because it only takes a split second for your life to change. The second idea is that we need to make it understood to our public that drinking and driving is completely unacceptable. There's nothing cool about it. There's nothing that is okay about it. The fact that your whole life can be changed, the lives of other people, is just, an unacceptable choice that you make as you get behind that wheel. So this is where the behavior change comes along, and making people understand that There's no such thing as just a couple of drinks. A couple of drinks and being over the influence means that you are causing or potentially creating a chain of events that you may not be able to deal with. And that we need to plan better, we need to think better, we need to be better citizens. So things like thinking ahead, if I'm going out, if I'm going to be consuming alcohol, what are some of the things that I can do to mitigate the idea of me getting behind the wheel under the influence? I can, for example, opt for non-alcoholic beverages. I can opt for a designated driver. I can opt for some sort of e-hailing option, and there are many now in this country. So it's not a problem that we cannot get around. It is about us changing the mentality of our road users.
And while there are an array of options for people to choose from to make sure that they don't drink and drive, they are safe as well. It seems that, people still continue to drink and drive, even though we drill this message over and over. But I know your organization has some innovative ways of trying to educate motorists and passengers. For instance, your drinking and driving simulator. Tell us about that.
So our simulator, which one can access on our website, is really an exciting innovation for us. It gives the public, consumers, a first-hand experience of what the effects of alcohol are on your brain, on your reactions, on your reaction rate as you drive. So without taking the risk of actually doing it in real life, you can get onto our website, which is www.aware.org.za, jump onto our tools page and try out the simulator yourself. You can see firsthand what the effects of 1 or 2 or 3 drinks is or are on your system, on your body. I think that a lot of the problem is that people don't understand what the effects of alcohol are on the human brain, on the human body, whether these are a long term or short term.
Yeah. Now, before I let you go, we must talk about pedestrians as well, who are also at risk of road fatalities. What has your research shown in this aspect?
I mean, we don't directly work with pedestrians, but one of our partnerships is with the RTMC, and what they are telling us from their research, and you'll know from, let's say, the December numbers, is that 40% of the fatalities were indeed pedestrians. So there's a number of layers to this, in that when a driver, for example, is under the influence, they are less likely to be able to react timeously if something appears on the road. Number 2, our roads may not be well lit, which means that pedestrians may not be visible if they do not wear visible clothing. If the pedestrians themselves are under the influence, they are putting themselves at risk of potentially being hit by a car. So whether they are under the influence or not, it could be the driver of the car, it could be the pedestrian themselves, but it's just a bad combination. So safety is important on both sides of the street, whether you are the driver or whether you are the pedestrian, because these numbers are unacceptable and they do need to go down.
They truly are unacceptable. Thank you for all the work that you do with your organization and joining us this evening.